Today I wanted to highlight a race in the new Open Tour Reward, which is the 1974 Porsche #1 911 RSR. Now it comes in at 705, so just above the A class, but if you put a ballast in it and put a couple little upgrades, it's pretty easy to get it into A class. And I usually like to focus my builds on handling, so that's exactly what I did with this car. If you want to try this build, make sure you get it leveled up, and then you can just follow along in this video, add these upgrades and these tuning settings, and I'll also share it in game if you want to try it. This was the first race I had done with this car, so I used about, 15 minutes of practice to get it kind of tuned a little bit, and I like where it is. I do think it needs a little bit more adjustment, but there's quite a bit of understeer that I was trying to tune out and get this to rotate a little bit more on the corners, and overall I'm pretty happy about where it is. This race was a lot of fun though. There was a McLaren F1 GT and also a 2018 Mustang, and we were just kind of trading places in the top three the whole race, really close the whole way, and really if the other drivers had made less mistakes along the way, the outcome would have been quite different. But let's dive in and check this race out. And if you want to see me racing live, make sure you head over to 9 to 5 Toys, the YouTube channel. We're usually playing some Forza Motorsport Wednesday evenings around 8 o'clock Eastern, so hope to see you there. You can see right off the bat we get a decent launch, but the 2018 Mustang gets a much better launch. So coming into T1 here, we're taking it pretty easy. That McLaren is on our inside, Mustang's out ahead, and we're just going to try to not hit anybody on the right. Quick look at the camera back there. I feel like I know Mugello decently well. It's, probably not my top track, but I also know my way around it pretty well. So we're trying to hug the inside there. You do have to be careful with some of those curbs. The sausages will knock most cars around. And then here we can keep this very tight. You can see McLaren gets a little fishy there, and then actually goes wide on that corner, goes into the dirt, which really slows him down. So now it's just the Mustang and I, and you can see I have better handling than the Mustang. I can take him on some of these corners, but the speed of that thing is just insane. So very nice of him there not to spin me out as I had possession of that corner and kind of came across over on the line. So really I was very impressed with the other two drivers I was battling with in here. Some really clean racing that made this just a lot of fun. And like always, this is the kind of racing that I really enjoy in Forza Motorsport. And it's sometimes hard to find, but it's always fun when you do get it. I went a little bit wide there, which kind of compromised my turns coming up to this last corner, trying to defend against the Mustang right behind us, trying to stay in front on this corner. But I know that as soon as we get to the straight, he's probably going to go flying past me, and we'll have some more work to do on the next lap. You can see he's gaining a lot of speed. Just goes right around us here. But we know that on some of the corners, we have the advantage, so go pretty aggressive on the braking there, keep everything pretty tight, trying to see if we can get around him. Can't quite get there, he's got the acceleration. He goes a little bit wider than the line there, but we still can't quite get around him. You can see on the proximity that the McLaren's catching back up to us. He's right behind us right now, so we're gonna have a three-way battle coming up here. Get really hard on the brakes there because we almost run into the back of the Mustang. And the McLaren has entered the fight again right beside me, so I have to go a little bit wide on this corner. We'll see if the McLaren makes the same mistake here as he did the other time. No, he has a perfect line going through there. Coming around here, this is where we made some huge gains on the Mustang last lap, and we're doing it again. So getting around him on pretty much the exact same corner we did last lap. Trying to give him a little bit more room there so he doesn't go off, and he does go off a little bit. See a little bit of dust flying, and that dirt, when you get off in it, it really just pulls you, so it's a tough spot to be in. Now the McLaren is starting to take off. The F1 is 1.5 seconds ahead of us already, so that guy has some crazy pace, as you'll see in the end of this race, but We're going to do everything we can to keep up with him and see what we can do by the end of the race. Coming around here, we're a little bit further ahead of the Mustang than we were last lap, but still, this is a big straight, and that Mustang has some crazy speed, so we'll see what happens. I still think overall with this tune, there is a little bit of understeer that I would like to tune out. I'm afraid it might make it kind of hard to drive, but there's just some corners on this track where I felt like it had understeer. It would not quite rotate as much as I wanted it to. Here I go a little bit wide. You can hear that Mustang revving up beside me. I'm going to try to stay in the lead, but he is very close. You're kind of catching a rearview mirror. He's right on our bumper. So trying to keep these lines as tight as we can coming around here. Pulling away from him a little bit on that last corner. Let's see what we can do. And we saw a flash of headlights up ahead. The McLaren went off and spun. So we're back up into first place. So once again, we should be able to get some good distance in front of the Mustang in this area. We'll see what he does when he's following us. He's actually keeping it a little bit tighter through here now when he's following us. I think he's kind of keeping our line, maybe realizing he has a little bit more pace through there. I don't think I got that corner right the entire race. I feel like I usually want to cut it a little bit closer so I have a better exit on the second part of that S. But every time I went in a little bit too deep. Right there, that corner is one of the ones where it feels like it has a little bit of understeer. I just couldn't get it to turn around that corner as much as I wanted it to. But I'll tweak with the tune a little bit and maybe post an updated one. But if you want to check out this tune, it is shared. You can try it. All right, we're coming down to the straight again. It looks like second and third are neck and neck, both the same distance behind us.
Final lap. You got this.
And of course, the Mustang is closing that gap as we come down the straight here. Final lap. Let's see what happens. Another thing to note here, I don't remember what tires the Mustang was on, but I know the McLaren is on, I believe the stock tires are street, not race tires. I wasn't even sure that you could get that car down into A-Class. I know I have an S-Class build that's pretty strong with it, but I was a little surprised to see it in here and see how well it was performing. Coming through this sector, we're still a little over 2 seconds ahead of second place. Going into this high-speed sector here, just trying not to go off into the gravel and lose some time, keep things pretty tidy in there. See how we do on this corner that I always miss? Yeah, a little bit wider on there than I usually like to go. And you can see that McLaren is getting very close to us now, down to just 0.7 coming into this last sector. So now it's all defense. What can we do to keep him behind us? So unfortunately, you can't quite see. I've got the ultra-wide monitor where I can see that whole rear view mirror and see where he is right behind me. I'm kind of positioning myself in the middle here, so he can't take the inside to get around me. So I've got a little bit of a better line, trying to keep him behind, and we are able to on that last corner. He's a little bit behind us, catching up, but we have enough speed to stay in front of him and take the win. So that was a really fun race in that car. I was really happy that I didn't have any huge errors, and obviously if the other two drivers would not have had those errors, the outcome of this race would have been pretty different, but it was a lot of fun. Once again, if you want to check out this car, go back to the video and look at all the build and upgrades so you can make it for yourself, or just try out the tune that's shared on Forza. And if you want to see me racing live, once again, join me over at the 9 to 5 Toys YouTube, usually Wednesday evenings around 8 o'clock Eastern. And thanks for watching. I hope to see you there.